Why don't we throw to a video of Justice Minister Sean Fraser? He's an intellectual titan, if I've ever seen one. Let's see where he weighs in on this injustice. Oh, but just one problem. He doesn't think it's an injustice. Check out this.
The Supreme Court has decided not to hear the death of the ostrich cases. Minister of Justice, do you have any thoughts about the case not proceeding to the Supreme Court and whether the ostriches should end their lives?
Look, we obviously are pleased to see the decision of the Supreme Court. It's important that the Minister of Agriculture and CFIA are able to protect the health of the general Canadian public and of the food that we consume in the poultry industry as well. This is a decision that is following the science and evidence, and I'm sure my colleague who has conduct to file will have more to say today.
The Supreme Court is not going to hear the case. That means, as far as I understand, the ostriches will be terminated. Yeah. What do you think? You're a BC MP. And
I'm disappointed in the result, obviously. I think it goes to underscore the structural need for change within the CFIA, and I'm very disappointed in the Liberal ministers and the lack of communication that's coming from them.
Did you ask the minister to call off the cull? She has the authority to do that.
I've had correspondence with the minister, yes.
Did you ask her that, though,
I'm
specifically?
sorry, I've got to get to QP.
The Supreme Court decided to go through with the call or dismiss the appeal. What does it mean for trade and the safety of flocks within Canada and our agri-food industry?
I haven't followed it close enough, except to say this: I wouldn't want to be Heath MacDonald. This can't be fun.
Just because of the reaction.
So my heart goes out to him.
Generated?
There's significant public interest in this. It's incredibly difficult, and I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
Because you're a BC MP, do you have any thoughts on the Supreme Court dismissing the appeal from Universal Ostrich Farms and the ostriches are going ahead to be culled?
No, I have no view. I haven't read the decision,
Okay.
so I haven't read anything on that.
Geez, that kind of explains why the NDP is such an irrelevant party right now. The ostrich what? But you know what, Natasha, let's start with you. Sean Fraser, he said it's important that the edicts by the Minister of Agriculture and, of course, the CFIA are followed through. It's about public safety. It reminds me of the famous Ronald Reagan quote, "The greatest lie ever told is the following phrase, 'Hi, I'm from the government. I'm here to help you.'"
Yeah, these crushing mediocrities that were just featured in the video should offend the sensibilities of every Canadian. The fact that we pay them hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for their absolute claptrap to tyrannize our neighbors is disgusting to me. That man in particular oversaw a mass invasion of our country to facilitate the Liberals being in government in perpetuity, because they know that most of the voters that they're bringing in, most of the people that they're bringing in will end up voting Liberal. So we'll just never, ever be able to get rid of them. I think he's a bad person. He's not just bad at his job. I would be shocked if he even spent 5 minutes looking at the case and learning about it. And I don't want to throw everybody off into the weeds, but it is worth noting that the COVID regime response, the tyranny, was based on the Imperial College modeling of one of the primary scientists. His name was Neil Ferguson, and he was instrumental in creating the panic and the overreaction and the tyranny that we all lived through for a couple years. If you go back in this man's career, he was also instrumental in introducing massive culls in Britain. So there was hand, foot, and mouth, and they just culled a huge number of animals, and the work was highly criticized. It was based on modeling, both in the case of the COVID regime and in the case of these mass culls of livestock. And then guess what? It turned out after years and years and years of culling cows and of culling badgers and of culling all sorts of animals that, the science came in, and it's actually not very beneficial at all.
Unbelievable.
So
Can you imagine
people need
this?
to understand the roots. It's the same bureaucrats ruining our lives over and over again.
Viva, Natasha's point, Sean Fraser's resume, illegal aliens good, domestic ostriches that are not a threat to anyone, bad, and must be eliminated. Can you explain liberalism to us, my friend?
It's a mental disorder. I mean, we've grown up with the joke. Liberalism is a mental disorder. If you're not a liberal when you're young, you have no heart. And if you're not a conservative when you're an adult, you have no brain. Can you imagine this jackass who, probably thinks the ostriches had something to do with consumption of meat because he's mentioning chickens, keeping it safe. I don't think he knows a damn thing about the file. And then to say, following the science, this is the same jackass who believes that boys can menstruate and get pregnant. This is a 2S LGBTQIA plus fanatic lecturing about the science without appreciating he's an absolute buffoon. Underqualified is an understatement. These are idiots. And it's, who was it? Cicero who said it? If you don't get involved in politics, you end up getting governed by your inferiors. This is a lazy, arrogant man who loves the limelight, loves his deep breath, sighs as he comes in. He gets asked questions. He's so important. He's the new god. Probably doesn't know a damn thing about the file. And then lectures us on science. Sorry, Fraser. Boys can't have periods. They can't menstruate. They can't have babies. And you don't know jack squat about the science.
You know, Alexa, I think Viva was being charitable in describing Sean Fraser as lazy and arrogant. He forgot another descriptor. Stupid. I think this is one of the biggest imbeciles in cabinet, and he's lecturing us on this being a good idea. What's your take?
Is the man who actually fell in every position that he had in the government. I remember it was like the housing minister. Where are we at now? So I'm not taking this man seriously in everything that he's saying. This man doesn't even know what he's doing inside the government. This man is just there and he's just like doing what he's been told to say or to do. But I'm pretty sure he don't understand what he's doing himself.
But Alexa, why is it in this Liberal Party? I mean, I look at Sean Fraser's resume. Every file he has handled is a disaster, but he fails upwards. I mean, he's the Justice Minister. That's a big deal. How is this possible? I thought Mark Carney was the adult in the room, the CEO, the businessman, but apparently he's happy with the typical usual suspects.
It's more you fail, more you get reward. More you get worse, more we will put you up, because at the end of the day, you don't understand what you're doing. So thanks God, it gave like more tools for the government to go further and impose more laws and more regulation. Listen, we see this in every sphere of our life right now. We are being ruled by some, sorry for saying that, but dumb people who believe that science, as Viva Frei say, that men can be women and women can be men, and that it's actually real woman and real men, and they cannot define what woman is.
Yeah, unbelievable.